back to my channel. Thank you so very much for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. Now today, guys, you are in for a treat because I'm going to be doing a video that I had, one of my first videos, which was my dad's chili verde, which is green chili. And it's either made with like mostly pork or beef. I'm going to be redoing that today. And also, guys, in the beginning, I'm not going to give you the exact measurements like I usually do because that's how my dad taught me. It was always to taste your food and just make it your own. But I will leave the ingredients down in the description area for you guys once I get done making this delicious dish. This dish means so much to me that you guys don't even realize. My dad is no longer here with me, and I treasure each and every moment that he spent teaching me how to make this dish. And I hope you enjoy it and appreciate it just as much as I do. And I want to share it with you so you can share it with your families. So now we're going to get to cooking this delicious dish. So come on in so I can show you what you're going to be needing for this recipe. So here's what you're going to need for this recipe. You're going to need 5 pounds of pork roast butt. And this is the one that has the bone in, because the bone is what's going to give your meat a flavor. I also have 8 cups of water right here, but I'll let you know exactly how much in the description down below what I'm using. You're also going to need tomatillo that we boiled and blended. You also can roast them, but we just boiled them and blended them. Cloves of garlic, dried chicken stock or caldo de pollo, cumin, 1.5 tablespoons of a flavorless oil, flour. You're going to need about 10 to 12 New Mexico chilies. Now, I get New Mexico chilies because it has a certain flavor. I love the way it tastes in my chili verde, and that is what my dad used. But also, I'm going to place a video up above to show you how we roasted and peeled the chilies. This is how you want them. You see how the color has changed from that bright green to like a dull green. You want to make sure all the sides are charred real good. Now we're going to cool them so we can peel them. Then afterwards you can place them in water and peel all of the skin off. During this process, be very careful while peeling the chilies because it can and will burn your hands. So if you are sensitive, wear gloves. You're also going to want salt to taste. Alrighty, so the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to place your heat on a medium high at this point. This is where you're going to want to place your oil. Just like that, to make sure it coats everything. And I'm not going to let my oil get too hot at this point because then it'll start splashing and sizzling too much. So I'm just going to place everything in. And you see how the meat is nice and cubed? That's how you're going to want your meat. And you want to make sure also you have a little fat in there as well, because like I said, the bone and the fat is what's going to give it flavor. So guys, we had some technical difficulties. I thought I was recording this part where I put the 10 garlics that I minced and chopped up, and also I put salt during this time. And you're just going to want to mix it through. You're going to want to cube it kind of the same size. Now, this recipe was one of my dad's special recipes that he had. And my mom, she would always, we were talking about how she would always be the sous chef and cut up all of the ingredients. She said she would call him just the spice man. He would come in and season things. But I think that's what made this dish great, because they both worked on it and put their love in it. That's why I hope you guys cherish this recipe that's precious not only to my family, but all of the others that my dad fed his chili verde to. But this is flavor, guys. You want to make sure you get the bone in. I mean, you can do it without the bone, but my dad always told me the bone is where the flavor is. It gives it so much flavor. Do you guys have any precious stories that are close and near to your heart? Anything that your mom or dad or maybe any family member made that was special to you? I'm going to tell you guys a funny story. My dad, every time he would make the chili verde, we would always share the bones. When he would take it out, once they were all cooked with the flavor, he would take these big bones out, and you see how they have meat on them. Well, he would take it out and cut it off, and we would eat them together. Something that remains loving in my mind and my memories. I thank God for all the precious time that he gave me with my dad. I know he's no longer here with me, but he's always here in my heart. You see how you have all this liquid in the bottom of your pan? You're going to want to make sure it evaporates and goes down so you could toast your meat a little bit. And that's what your next step is going to do. You're going to cook it until mostly all your liquid is gone, so your meat could get a little toasty. And then I'll show you the next step. But make sure you're also stirring it in between that time, because you want to make sure the meat on the bone is getting cooked as well. My dad would make this for weddings, birthdays, family reunions. I remember it was always a special request. And then he would also do it where he would add chicharrones to the meat. Guys, that's why you have to treasure these precious times with your family, the foods that your family cook, because you just never know when the last time you're going to be with that person or see that person again. Never take a day for granted that God blesses you with, because each day you're blessed with is a blessing in itself. We're almost there, guys. You see how much liquid evaporated? And you hear the little sizzling pops. We're almost to the next step. Don't get discouraged. Just keep turning and watching your dish. Now you hear and see like all the liquid is mostly all gone. That's when you're going to want to toast your meat. You're toasting your meat right now. You hear it? That's what you want to do. You want to get these little areas and seal in the flavor of your meat. Now at this point, see all the liquid is gone and you toasted your meat a little bit. This is when you're going to want to add your flour to coat all of your meat during this time. And what it does is it makes your sauce a little bit thicker and a little bit richer after you cook it. Now once you got it cooked through a little bit, you want to cook it for probably about a minute with the flour in it, just to make sure everything's coated and the flour gets cooked a little. Now you're going to want to take your water and add it in. And like I said, I'll let you know in the measurements down below exactly how much I use. And I think I'm using the full 8 cups today because that's exactly perfect liquid that I want in there. Because when I cook this down, I like to have my chili verde with some juice in it. Now make sure you mix it all in with your flour and all your other ingredients. Now also, I'm going to add the caldo de pollo right now, or the dry chicken stock. At this point as well, I'm also adding mostly all of my chilies. I say I'll add about like 10 chilies right now because I don't know how hot these are. That's why I always say 10 to 12 chilies, because you never know how hot your chilies are going to be. Sometimes they're not that hot and sometimes they're hotter. So you have to be careful. And then to this point, I'm also going to add about half a cup of the tomatillo. Also at this point, you're going to want to add your cumin as well. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon at this point. And once it boils and the flavors incorporate, I'm going to taste it and see if I added anything else. The ingredients will be in the description down below. You want to make sure it comes up to a small boil where it's getting those flavors infused and also thickening up your sauce. This is a patient dish, but it's going to be well worth it. So now that it's been boiling for approximately a half an hour, like I said guys, this is a low and slow dish that you're going to want to take your time on. So make sure you have enough time when you're cooking this. At this point, you're going to want to taste your meat to see if it has all the seasonings and flavor that you like. Woo! So guys, those chilies almost burned me when I was tasting this. They're really, really spicy. So yeah, today we're using about 10 or 9 chilies. If this is the first time of you making it, just add a little bit of chili little by little until you get the heat that you want. But yeah, that's spicy enough. And you see, since it's been simmering on a low boil for a half an hour, you see how the liquids become thicker. That's what you want. And I'm still gonna let it simmer and boil. So now I turned it off. It's been simmering for a little over an hour altogether in total. But you see how the meat is falling off the bone? That's how you want it, because you want to make sure your meat is nice and tender. See all that sauce and juice in there? That's how I love my chili verde. But if you want it thicker, you can also leave it to simmer longer and it'll get thicker. You can also add a little extra flour in the beginning when we added it. So now I'm going to plate this beauty and I'm going to eat it for you. Yummy, look at that guys. Look at how nice and tender the meat is. That's how you want it. I don't want to cry, but this dish reminds me so much of my dad. And it just brings me close to him. But I don't make this dish often because it does take a lot of love and time and effort. This is made on special occasions. And you guys are special. So I'm gonna dip it in here. You guys, all that flavor running through there, you can't beat that. Plus I made Spanish rice. And I'm actually serving it on the plate that my mom and dad used to own their restaurant. These were the actual plates. So I hope you enjoy it. I have to eat this dish more. You guys, treasure these moments. Till next time, have a beautiful, blessed day, and don't forget to make this for your loved ones and people around you. I'll be seeing you guys soon. Bye!
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more of these videos.